Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. I'm here with the RSI Meteor. It is relatively newly flyable in Star Citizen. It was made flyable with 4.2.1 going live on Thursday evening. And it's a cool strike fighter. And I'm going to use that term broadly and loosely. It is tuned as a medium fighter, but it's got relatively light armor and health and shields. It's got two size 1 shield generators, but it's got the sort of speed and agility of a medium fighter, and it's kind of a little bit tweaked, tuned towards being an interceptor. It's faster in a straight line. It's got the weapons, as you can see, of a heavier ship. So it's got two size 5s, these bespoke beer cannons, ballistic cannons on the top of the ship. They're not changeable. They are relatively limited ammo is the idea. And they pack a huge punch, but they are really slow firing. Both of them are a dual cannon. Boom, boom. And I really like that. It's cool. It's not going to hit any super fast targets that are constantly moving. Well, you could. It's just going to be a lot harder. And then you've got 4 size 3 weapons in the center here, which can be changed. And I'd probably go for some laser repeaters of some description. I'm pro laser repeater. We also got underneath a load of, I think they're underneath, right? It's all the missiles. So we've got 4 size 4 missile racks and then 2 size 3s as well. It's got a huge amount of armament. It's in a relatively small package. It is based on the Mantis chassis, this ship, but it technically isn't the Mantis chassis. It has evolved somewhat. It's been a bit tweaked. You can't move the paints across from the Mantis, unfortunately, to the Meteor. But it is a single-seater, medium fighter that punches above its weight class. Oh no. It's true, though. But the downsides here are the fact that it's got 2 size 1 shields and not much in the way of armor and ship health. The ship is nice and agile. It genuinely is, even in atmosphere. It feels good. It's the close to as gold standard as you can be, right? The latest release of a ship. Gold standard literally being for ships the most modern techniques, modern standards for a particular ship, which will constantly change from patch to patch. Feels nice and agile, feels responsive, looks pretty cool. I really like the idea of it. However, I'm much more into a ship being a brawler. So like a F8 or maybe a F7, like a Super Hornet Mark II or something. I like the amount of armament on this, and I like the fact it's got its own interior. So there, let's jump in and have a look. It's all nice and RSI. You will need the fire extinguishers in the future. Having an interior does not necessarily, it's not necessarily always a good thing, because you are going to have to do repair and maintenance and deal with fires because of that. You will have effectively the need for life support at a greater extent, right? So you've got your little sleepy area. Got a good amount of component access. It feels nice and spacious, even though the ship is absolutely tiny. Okay, so button here is for the equipment table. So you'd have like weapons and multi-tools and stuff here. Personal equipment stuff. Really nice. And I believe the standard Mantis also now has these improvements as well with the interior. So this button and that controls the lift there. Got effectively a food maker there. More component access. So you haven't got any way to store cargo, bolt it down. You can literally just place the cargo inside your ship, which is going to be fine for some people. Actually doing proper hauling or anything. It's got no sort of designated cargo area or anywhere that the cargo will bolt down, as it were. Got magged down. So the ship is available from $240 to $260 based on whether you're paying with real money or store credits. But like the interior, feels nice and clean. So these blue bits feel a little bit like the red areas inside the Prowler. That might just be me, or it might be a design or inspiration, or just something that just something that's a bit similar, right? It's a pretty small ship, and they've packed a lot in there. I mean, it's a great idea to make use of the Mantis chassis, for sure. And it's an interesting one because they have gone, look, it's a medium fighter/interceptor-y type boy. We've given it some big, heavy armament, but it is relatively lightly armored, healthed, and shielded. Although, obviously, you can switch those components out. All its components are size 1. It's got 2 size 1 coolers and shield generators, and you can deal with its power problems. It doesn't have power problems, I should say, even though it's only got a single size 1 power plant because of the ballistic nature of the main guns. Although it's got 4 size 3 weapons there. That's a lot of PPU, and then loads of missiles as well. I didn't realize it was also hiding those 2 size 3 dual racks. It looks absolutely superb, right? Like, it's got a little bit of the Polaris in it. That's what they were saying. Sort of a little annoying that you can't change the skins over from the normal Mantis to it. I kind of want that standard Mantis skin on it, to be honest. I like the Star Trek-y, defiant-looking skin on it. But I think they've done an absolutely fantastic job with it. Sort of interested to know what other people think of it. Lacking cargo, but I mean, it's a fighter, right? I think we're so at the mercy of the balance of these weapons, of these size 5s. Because obviously you can change out these size 3s, but you can't change out these size 5s, at least not yet. Even bespoke weaponry, sometimes CIG allow you to switch it out for other bespoke weaponry for the series. So maybe it'll get some 1 other or 2 other weapons it can change to in the future. But at the moment it's very much locked to these ballistic cannons, and if they are not balanced well, that's going to cause some issues. So yeah, I want to jump into the Q&A as well, talk a bit about that, give it a bit more context, and talk about some of the concerns potentially for the ship, because it does have those big size 5 weapons, and if they're super overpowered, the ship's going to be overpowered. If they're underpowered, the ship's going to be underpowered. Is the Meteor designed with a particular type of enemy in mind, such as other fighters, bombers, or large targets? The Meteor is classified as a medium fighter, albeit one with some larger size 5 weapons, so it's intended to take on larger targets, such as heavy fighters and smaller multi-crew ships. However, the size 3 weapons also provide appropriate firepower for dealing with smaller threats. It's pretty good at shooting lots of different things, although it does have downsides. Regarding its guns and missiles, could you clarify which components are swappable? The 4 size 3 weapons and the additional missile hardpoints are all swappable with any compliant option. The 2 bespoke size 5 cannons are integrated. They can't be swapped out. Interestingly, I believe that it's size 4 hardpoint missiles. They can be swapped for other missile racks, but I don't believe the 2 size 3 missile racks that have 2 size 2 missiles on each. I don't believe those launchers can be changed out. Citation needed. If I'm wrong on that, please tell me in the comments below. As we know, the new RSI interiors typically follow one of 2 styles: military, like the Polaris, or civilian, like the Zeus Mark II. Which direction does the Meteor follow? The Meteor shares a lot of the civilian Zeus style kit, as it befits the smaller size of the ship, despite it being combat focused. Although, it looks a bit like a Polaris from the outside. It's been influenced by that for sure. Is the Meteor considered a variant of the Mantis? Like the recent Asgard from Anvil or the Centurion, Spartan and Ballista ground vehicles, the Meteor is a new ship based on an existing chassis. It's not a variant. As such, it does not share paints with the Mantis. Besides having more weapons and lacking the QED, the quantum enforcement device, compared to the Mantis, what other differences does the Meteor have in terms of flight behavior? The Mantis has a higher SCM speed, while the Meteor has a higher nav speed at the expense of minor rotational and maneuvering performance. While both the Meteor and the Mantis are tuned to the interceptor archetype within the traditional medium fighter range, it differs enough that it excels in a straight line performance over its brethren. So it sounds like it's a highly capable interceptor. Given its high firepower, interceptor classification, and living quarters, the Meteor seems to combine the best aspects of a ship power, agility, long-range capability. What are its drawbacks? Well, the benefits seem strong. As we strive for with every ship, there are noticeable trade-offs. In this case, bespoke weaponry, shielding, and hull strength. It's bespoke size 5 cannons pack a serious punch, but they come at a cost. You're locked into ballistics, which means limited ammo and slower fire rates that punish missed shots, especially against smaller, more nimble targets. Its firepower reaches the highest spectrum of medium fighters, but it differs from the strong, unified archetypes found in heavy fighters, while its hull strength and size 1 shields share more in common with light fighter tunings. The intention here is to make the Meteor a truly unique offering within the medium fighter setting ahead of further changes to the flight model, resource network, and other aspects of ship flight coming in the future. Does its hull or component layout allow for better serviceability or survivability in combat? With the introduction of the Meteor, both it and the Mantis now have fully accessible components from within the ship. So that's kind of cool, but as I said, the downsides are that you might have to deal with fires if they break out. As a powerful medium fighter, what level of signature does the Meteor emit while operating at combat readiness? Due to the combat focus of its loadout and weaponry, the Meteor has a higher than average signature. High offensive ability comes at the cost of being visible. What is its storage capability? Does it include a cargo grid or designated space for small cargo boxes or personal items? There's no dedicated cargo grid aboard, just personal inventory storage. We've obviously seen that table come out. And there's lots of space in the ship, just nothing dedicated for cargo, right? So you could potentially put some boxes in there. During the development of the Meteor, were there any quality of life improvements made to the chassis that also benefit the Mantis? Developing the Meteor allowed us to go back and retrofit the updated interior to the Mantis at the same time. Beyond the interior changes, we also implemented a new backend for the interdiction system that restores the snaring functionality of the Mantis to near pre-server meshing. This means that players can now snare a ship that starts a quantum travel from another server, a limitation that previously arose with the introduction of server meshing. Looking ahead, we're aiming to bring more quality of life improvements and fixes for the Mantis with Alpha 4.3. including preventing players from calibrating to a nav target while inside the snaring field, resolving occasional cases of players rubber banding back to the interdiction site, fixing an issue where the snare device may not charge properly as a temporary workaround, toggling it off and on or waiting briefly can help, ensuring snares can still catch ships that begin quantum travel before the snare is activated. What else with the Meteor? There's some interesting paints for it at the moment. There's a shimmer paint which changes based on the angle you look at it, so it sort of shifts between gold and dark blue. There's also a red and black one and a teal and black one. It is basically the same size as the Mantis. It's 30 meters long, 17 meters wide, 8 meters tall. It's built for one single pilot. I really like the ship. I think it's really cool. I want to play around with it really after engineering comes into the game, because once we have engineering and potentially even the Maelstrom system as well with the armor and all those other systems in, they'll be balancing ships a lot more finally, or with the sort of final balance in mind. And at the moment, the ship's going to change loads between now and then, along with all the others when it comes to balance and all that sort of stuff. So it's just an interesting one. I really like the idea of it. I'm interested to know what you think of the Meteor. You're going to be getting one yourself. Do you hate it? Do you love it? Whatever your thoughts, tell me in the comments below. Also, something you should do in the comments below, maybe you should go to NordVPN links, or go to nordvpn.com/BoredGamer, go to that address, or click the links below. Big discount on NordVPN, and it gives you better accessibility, security, and privacy on the interwebs. I use NordVPN, I love NordVPN, and you will too. Every month we have a ship giveaway, and July 2025 is no different. We're giving away a Prowler utility with lifetime insurance and a Star Citizen game package. All you need to jump into the game with a stealthy cargo ship. It's all you need to start your career as a hauler or maybe a pirate. Comment on any of our videos made during this month to be in for a chance of winning that. If you would like to further support the channel, consider becoming a channel member with the join button under the videos, or a Patreon. Links down below for that. And there's loads of other links that you can help support the channel with, from Game Glass to THRUSTMASTER, loads of products that you will potentially want for your Star Citizen experience. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you have a great month, and I'll see you in the verse.